Hi, my name is Bruno Spengler. Welcome to Le Mans racetrack. Hope you're gonna have fun watching this race.
Yeah, I'm sure we are. This is the penultimate round of the DTM. Round 10 of what has been a fascinating season, which has seen the struggle go backwards and forth between Audi and Mercedes-Benz. Timo Scheider and Paul di Resta very close at the top of the table. Everything to play for. Yes, the DTM skipped Le Mans last year, but they're back for 2008 and on the Bugatti circuit at this historic venue. Many 24-hour races here, but of course the smaller Bugatti circuit also hosts a lot of major international events. As we said, the DTM has not been a regular attender at this track, but they were here in 2006 when Mika Hakkinen set the lap record. We're going to have a race of some 40 laps around this 4.185 kilometre version of Le Mans, using of course the famous pit block. And there, if there's one modern name that's associated with Le Mans, it is of course Tom Christensen. All that success for Audi here at the track. But now we can check out a racing lap with Bruno Spengler.
Hi, my name is Bruno Spengler and I'm going to show you a lap of the racetrack Le Mans. So we come to the start and finish straight, quite quick going uphill with a right corner here up to 6th gear. Very difficult braking for first corner because it's very bumpy. Downshifting to second, going on the curbs, going wide at the exit, shifting up to third, fourth, and then back to third for the corner 3, which is a corner, a downhill corner, very technical as well. The exit is very important because it goes uphill again after. Shifting up to fourth, back down to second for corner 4. Also a very technical corner with the exit, very important. Also bumpy at the exit, so important to be right on power there. Up to 4th gear. Hard, heavy braking for corner 5 here, but shifting down to 2nd gear. Also very bumpy on braking and on the entry. Shifting up to 3rd, 4th, 5th. Back to 3rd gear for this quick chicane here, a lot of curbs, and you really have to brake late and carry a lot of speed through this corner. It's a difficult corner too. Up to 4th gear, then back to 3rd. Here you can shortcut the track a little bit in these 2 corners, right, left, in 3rd gear, which make these corners actually quite quick. So this is the right corner, the left corner, both of them are cutted a little bit. Then wide exit here, stay in 3rd. Going back to 2nd for the last corner, which is also very bumpy with the curves and the track, and try to pull the best traction out possible for the straight, which is very important too.
So we look down on that circuit, which is technical. This is only the short Bugatti version. They once held the French Grand Prix here many years ago. But Tom Christensen has a great feeling when he comes to Le Mans. Of course, he won the 2008 24-hour race, just as he won many of those earlier races, all the way back to his first victory here in 1997. But he was really going hard here. There's the lap time for Tom Christensen, and Tom Christensen takes his 7th DTM pole. It was looking good for the Great Dane. And slow-mo shots here, right on the limit, over the curbs. The sparks from the underside of the A4. And Tom Christensen, it is on the pole. So this, the 10th and penultimate race of the DTM. And Jamie Green, who has been in the championship hunt most of the season, was looking very good. Dry weather here on Saturday, although rain beckoned for race day. And Green records the 2nd fastest time, 1:30.229, just 0.08 of a second off pole setter Tom Christensen's best time. Green certainly looking good. But what about the other Audi top men? Of course, Timo Scheider leading the championship by some 7 points. His qualifying just a little bit disappointing, and he would start in 5th place on the grid. And a man who's come on strong right behind him there in the latter part of the season, Matthias Ekstrom. He qualified in 3rd place. And here is Ekstrom just using those Le Mans curbs to good effect to get that excellent time. They're the top 10, and mainly Audis, but Paul de Resta there, that's important. The man second in the championship in 4th place, actually starting in front of Timo Scheider and going through the rest of the field. Disappointing time for Ralf Schumacher, coming to Le Mans for the very first time.
I was able to, in the Sector 1, where we were always very strong, to improve in Sector 3, especially at the chicane, jumping over the curbs, where you change direction, where the car got really loose. And I just able to bang a little bit more speed through there, and the car didn't jump too much sideways. And this was then the key for the pole. But again, it was incredibly close.
Well, I obviously did a pretty good lap. I've been struggling a bit in the second sector on this circuit, but fortunately I did a very good last sector, which made up for it. So overall, like you said, with 10 kilos, I think I did a good job, and obviously the team did a good job as well to give me a car that was so competitive with this weight disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with P3 in qualifying, although everybody wants to go for pole, but I've been struggling with the cold the whole weekend, which is making it really tough. But in the end, I'm happy for myself, and also that Tom managed to be on pole, and we have some Audis up the front. Timo is close to us as well in pole, so I think it will be an interesting race tomorrow.
The DTM, of course, is about much more than just motor racing. It's about a complete entertainment package. We've had many emerging bands, many successful German outfits, but at Le Mans we had one of the big names. The Blues Brothers were here, the cult band, entertaining the fans on Saturday night. The band's first ever live appearance came on NBC Television's long-running comedy show, Saturday Night Live. John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd made the breakthrough in '78 with their album, Briefcase Full of Blues. The duo achieved cult status 2 years later with the release of the Blues Brothers movie. The lineup may have changed considerably down the years, but even after 30 years, the Blues Brothers inspire affection and excitement with a distinctive and unique musical style. Despite the band's name, many Blues Brothers numbers have a strong soul and rock sound. Naturally, the Blues Brothers still wear their trademark dark sunglasses on stage, and the crowd was absolutely thrilled. Let's just listen to a little bit of their music.
Thank you. We'd like to give you the first song from the first movie, a little song written by...
So from the Blues Brothers to race day, and it wasn't the colour blue but the colour grey that predominated, as it looks as if the rain would come down. The drivers here paraded in the Audi A4 cabriolets, and of course indeed in the open top Mercedes-Benz. But everyone a little worried about the weather. Some 43 laps this year of this track for a race distance of 180 kilometres. Let's check out the grid. On the front row, Tom Christensen and Jamie Green. Then Matthias Ekstrom and Paul de Resta, all front runners in the championship. Then Timo Scheider, the leader of the championship, and Bernd Schneider, the old master himself. Bruno Spengler and Martin Tomczyk back there, and behind them the 07 cars, Mike Rockenfeller and Oliver Jarvis, who's had such a great season, Alexandra Primat and Marcus Winkelhock, Mauro Engel in his first season, and Christian Albers. Susie Stoddart, the better of the two girls, Gary Paffett near the back. Catherine Legg out-qualified Matthias Lauda, and then right at the back of the field, Ralf Schumacher on his first trip here. You can see where the splits are, the pit window between laps 10 and lap 30, and in that period the cars will make 2 pit stops. We expect to see several different strategies. The lights are out, it's go! And, well, a slow start from Tom Christensen. And Timo Scheider certainly on a very strong run. Look at Timo Scheider, goes down the inside, and Scheider is absolutely on fire. This is huge. And Scheider goes into the lead from row 3 of the grid. Absolutely sensational. We've got Oliver Jarvis, I think, off there. No, it was Primat who was off in the boonies. And they're looking at the back of the field. They've come under the Dunlop Bridge. They'll turn downhill and then they'll peel off before the old 24-hour circuit. We've got all sorts of drama out there. We've got Mario Engel, Mike Rockenfeller are off. Martin Tomczyk involved in that. Tomczyk, it appears, is out of the race. The other two can restart. There's Rocky. And huge disappointment for Martin Tomczyk in the gravel. Now this is the big story. Mercedes-Benz, with the exception of Bernd Schneider, have opted for the wet weather tyres. All the Audis have gone for the dries. And there's Tom Christensen going wide. The dries aren't helping him. Now, who has made the right decision? We saw in an earlier race at the Nürburgring the weathermen getting it wrong for Mercedes. And maybe they've done it again because we've got mainly Audis out front. So this is an absolutely, I should say, fascinating situation here as Schumacher Jr. goes spinning, an ignominious debut at Le Mans for the former Grand Prix winner, and he's in the gravel. He's not coming out of there. So his race is ended. Paul di Resta, though, definitely has been on a charge. But you can see the track is pretty dry here, and it doesn't look like slick weather to me. And look at this, di Resta going through and goes down the inside, touches the paint with Alexandre Primat, who of course has raced the R10 diesel here and is the new 2008 Le Mans Endurance champion. And they still go wheel to wheel. No, di Resta just manages to push ahead under the Dunlop Bridge again. Down the hill, they'll peel off right from the main 24-hour circuit, just down the bottom of that hill, and then onto the Bugatti circuit. We can see the start again. Watch that black car on the third row, makes an outstanding start. And there he's down the inside. And he keeps down the inside, it's wetter there, but he's got plenty of grip. And that is the best getaway of the season for my money, Timo Scheider. And that is absolutely massive for this championship. We've got Paul di Resta going strongly, but we worry about the tyre choice on his behalf by Norbert Haug and the Mercedes-Benz strategy people. And he is managing to keep behind Alexandre Primat. He peels off into the pits. He's gone into the pits. He's taken an early decision to switch back, and of course this is outside of the pit window. Here he comes in, and I'm sure we're going to see the treaded tyres come off. Yes, we do. The slicks go on, and well, was that a good decision to come in early and do that? Mercedes, I'm sure, will watch his lap times, and of course the weather here in the south is very changeable. So, of course, the rain could yet come down. So this is a gamble. But, well, they've thrown the dice here at Mercedes-Benz to try and keep Paul di Resta in the championship hunt. Well, I'm sure down on the pit wall, things are very tense indeed. Well, tense at Mercedes-Benz, at least. I wonder what they're thinking at Audi. And great action amongst the four ring men, and Dr. Ulrich likes that. And so do all his team. Bruno Spengler finding those tyres difficult. He's out in the gravel. Can he get it back on? Keep those tyres spinning. Oh, not sure if he's going to make it. Oh, I think he did get back on the circuit. Well, we've had some pit stops, as you see from the graphics now, and Primat, he is joined directly in front of di Resta. And so they're continuing their battle, or resuming that battle. And, well, Primat really resisting di Resta there. tall young Frenchman with a shaven head. The rest, of course, has still got to make another stop, an extra stop. So this is a big battle. And of course, Paul di Resta must be cursing. There's Norbert Haug. Well, is that a wry smile on his face? Maybe he knows something we don't know. At Audi, on the Pratt perch, they're still contemplating this race. Strategists hate this when they're not sure what the weather's going to do. And here's that di Resta move as Pramat bounces across the curbs. And that was the contact. No. Good move by the young man from Scotland.
Yeah, I think it was a hard fight. It was a fair play, I think, even if I get a penalty, but it's like this sometimes. But I would say we were door to door, pushing on the back, pushing on the front, so it was a really hard fight, but I think at the end was fair.
Well, that's his view of it. Looked fair to me. Lap 25, he fast forward to that position in the race. One or two changes. Matthias Ekstrom's first stop allowed him to take over the lead, followed by Scheider and Schneider. Bernd Schneider, the hugely experienced man, going against the rest of the Mercedes boys and going on the correct tyres, it appears. Here we are, the order there on the left-hand side. You see Pramat has already made his second stop. Ekstrom, Timo Scheider. And there, into the pits, Jamie Green. Just not been able to match the pace of some of his fellow C-type or C-class competitors, and he's down in fifth point at this juncture in the race. But it is Matthias Ekstrom out in the lead at the moment, and Timo Scheider behind him. And surely with the championship at the sharp end now, there will be some team orders. And Timo Scheider will be allowed to move ahead. There is Tom Christensen, now up into fourth place, remaining on slicks. Bernd Schneider having another good race to go on board with Tom Christensen. Meanwhile, Matthias Lauda goes curb hopping. And Pramat, the best of those who have stopped the second time to rest, are down there in sixth place at the moment. But as we said, this weather keeps changing, and we've got more rain threatening now. Ekstrom for his second pit stop here on lap 26. Well, the rain is coming down. He stayed on slicks. Is that a good move? Christensen also coming in. He's staying on slicks. And you see the rain on our camera lens, and it does seem to be increasing here, this precipitation. Well, certainly the weatherman has dealt a fantastic dilemma for many of these drivers. Just looking at the track, there's still that dry line through there, but if you go offline, then you could be in big trouble. And we understand that soon we will see Timo Scheider coming in, and will he go for the slicks? Will he go for the rain tyres? Bernd Schneider, he's made the right tyre choices up to date. And there is the yellow mirrored silver Mercedes-Benz of Bernd Schneider, who's made all the right choices up to date. And he dives into the pits at the very last moment. Does the Timo Scheider car. Bit of a twist, he comes in down this pit lane on the limiter. You see those famous LED lights of the Audi. And, well, no question about his choice of rubber. He's going on the slicks. The rain is still coming down here. So, and we got the red and yellow flag. And I think that's to warn the drivers it is raining now. Who is this? Bernd Schneider's pit here, and he's going to go onto the wets. Well, at the start he made the right choice. Here's the Stern car, Gary Paffett coming in. And it's Paffett, in fact, who's on the wets. And his lap times will be monitored, and then they'll leave it a couple of laps before they decide what to do with the front runners. But we've got Bernd Schneider in and out, and he is on slicks. So in the Mercedes-Benz camp, we've got a complete mixture of tyre choice now. So Bernd Schneider in the lead, on slicks from Ekstrom. Timo Scheider, Paul de Resta, Tom Christensen, Primat. We've got Jamie Green in 8th place. We've got Rockenfeller after that incident all the way up to 9th. That's a good drive. And then we've got Winkelhock in his car up in 7th place. That's one of the highest positions he's had all season. There's Tom Christensen. The Great Dane here, pushing quite hard now. Had that early incident, but was quick here in qualifying, of course, off the pole. And he's trying to serve his Audi Masters here by getting by Paul de Resta. Pushing de Resta really hard. Schneider in. On the slicks. So where will that leave Bernd Schneider as he comes back into the field? I think behind Ekstrom. And there is Timo Scheider going past. So Bernd Schneider will drop back, as the graphic tells us, to a 3rd place. Well, it's looking very murky here. Weather's been bad all over Europe. And they're absolutely side by side here. There's not much grip coming down the hill. Scheider versus Schneider. And it seems that some parts of the circuit are still quite dry, other places it's wet. Let's have a look at this view, and well, there Bernd Schneider goes off, and by motor racing rules, of course, he'll have to drop behind again because he's shortcutted the circuit. That's exactly what he's done. But the two Germans with a similar name in a big battle here that really could influence the overall championship. Obviously, it will be off to Hockenheim, and well, Scheider there just weaving around, trying to feel the grip here. Paul de Resta in behind them in 4th place. Some curb hopping going on. So this is very tricky. And Paul de Resta, of course, has only had one of his 2 pit stops. He's hanging in there to see what the weather does. Tom Christensen is behind Paul de Resta. He's had his 2nd stop. So this is not, it has to be said, good for Paul de Resta as far as we can see there. He goes into the pits. And what will his choice be? And yes, he has gone for the wets. That's plain to see. De Resta then leaving it as long as he possibly could. That's gone for the wet weather tyres. Let's see what his lap times do now. Well, this is their only hope of keeping their championship alive. It's a gamble. They need more rain here. And de Resta rejoins in 10th place. And if it stays like this, well, Timo Scheider will be crowned the champion before the final round at Hockenheim. But it does appear that things are starting to go the way of Paul de Resta and those drivers who have changed now to the slick rubber, because there is no question the rain is coming down. Rockenfeller just going a little bit wide there. And if it gets much wetter, then Audi are going to have to call in their drivers to make another pit stop. Scheider still weaving around, trying to find that grip. Ekstrom continues to lead. Scheider in second place, and it's Bernd Schneider, and then Christensen, Primat, and De Resta shown in 10th place, but he's possibly on the right rubber. Next minute or two is really going to tell here. How much grip have they got on the slicks? There is Timo Scheider, and the answer to that question is not a lot. He wants to keep it off the curbs where all that paint is, because there's going to be minimal grip there. The gap between Ekstrom and Scheider, 3.3 seconds. Then Schneider, 6.1 seconds. And then it's Christensen, Primat, Winkelhock. Winkelhock doing a great job here. Then Jamie Green. And then Gary Paffett in 8th place. Well, this is a big ask now, but we've got Jamie Green in. So everybody's slithering around here. And we're told that Audi are preparing wet weather tyres down in the pits. And this is going to turn the fortunes of this race around. Because at the moment, Audi are looking strong. Timo Scheider is looking strong to go home with the championship trophy in his luggage. But it's not over yet. Not over by a long way. That's the gap between De Resta and Scheider, and they're Audi side by side, and Tom Christensen on the inside with Alexandra Primat, and who will be the last of the late breakers? Tom Christensen. Got Winkelhock with him as well. Well, absolutely fascinating stuff. Great motor racing, and there the first of the Audis comes into the pits. They've had the call. Look at this. And there's 2 Audis coming into the pits. We've got Bernd Schneider also, of course, who's decided to stay on slicks. He made a good call at the start, but now a bad call. That'll drop him down the order. And Ekstrom, a mega stop there, 3 seconds. And Scheider stopped 4.2 seconds. So congratulations to the app crew and the Red Bull boys there. And this leaves at the moment Primat in the lead, but he's still out on the slick, slithering all over the circuit. Same can be said for Christensen. Well, goodness me. Is this going to play back into the hands of Paul De Resta, who's already moved back to 5th place? He's the fastest man out on the racetrack at the moment. Ekstrom doing a good job in front of Paffett and De Resta, and Ekstrom is still on the slicks. Must have a magnificent feel for this racetrack, for his race car. And there, Paul De Resta moving up. And there is Scheider in his wake. And so that's the championship battle. The pair of them together, and what will happen? Well, they're both now on the same rubber, although the Scotsman's rubber a little bit fresher. We've got Primat still in the lead. He hasn't made a stop for the rain tyres, and of course it could stop raining again, and then everything changes yet again here at Le Mans. Christensen second, Ekstrom, Paffett, De Resta and Scheider, the 2 championship leaders. But De Resta seems to be motoring on pretty well at the moment. And the spray hanging in the air here. Got more cars going into the pits. De Resta near the front as Tom Christensen stops. Tom Christensen stops at Le Mans pit for the umpteenth time in his long career. He's made so many pit stops. Remember, they make, well, as many as 30 pit stops during Le Mans 24 hours. So He will drop back down to ninth place now. There is Tom Christensen. Oh, Jamie Green is way off the circuit. Fortunately, there's tarmac out there. So the big question now is, what will Alexandre Premat do? Remember, he's in an 07 car, and he is still on the slicks. And he's trying to keep his head, keep his cool, and try and keep those tyres working. We're looking for the dry bits of the circuit. Looking good for Gary Paffett. He's made some good tyre choices along the way. In the 07 car, he's in third place. He's looking very strong at the moment. Now the team statisticians are going to be working overtime here on the pit wall. Obviously, we've got team tactics coming into play. There is Paul de Resta in third place. Got Paffett defending him from Timo Scheider. Got Rockenfeller in seventh place. And it looks relatively dry along that pit straight. Not much spray coming up behind the cars. There's Premat in the lead. And he's got Ekstrom behind him, and he goes a little bit wide, and Ekstrom takes the lead here at Le Mans. Remember, Premat is still on the slicks, looking for the grip, and meanwhile going off is Ekstrom, but that doesn't really impede his progress down under the bridge. This is really on tiptoes for Ekstrom, and de Resta is on the charge now, and de Resta in third place, and his championship hopes are very much alive again now. And he would improve them, of course, if he can find a way around the silver and the yellow car, which is in front, the 07 Audi of Alexandre Premat, former single-seater ace in GP2, made the switch a couple of years ago to Audi. Something of a surprise choice at the time, but he's certainly paying back the faith that Dr. Ulrich put in him, and having a magnificent drive here on home soil, giving the local crowd something to cheer. There, Audi 1-2, and there, a shortcut by de Resta, but it doesn't benefit really from it. Paffett there in fourth place, and all these leaders have closed up together. Well, can de Resta find a way round Alexandre Premat? There is Premat. Premat staying out on the slicks. And it looks as if he might lose that position now. De Resta goes down the inside onto the curves, but no, can't make it. Just a little bit more drive on the outside, and Premat finding some grip, but he's under huge pressure here. Massive assault by Paul de Resta. He goes round the outside on the way up to the Dunlop Bridge, and will he hold on to it under braking? Yes, he does. And de Resta further puts himself back in a good championship position, because he is, of course, in front of Timo Scheider. Christensen has dropped back to 9th and Green to 10th. Winkelhock's dropped back as well to 11th. Let's have a look at that move. And yes, he had all the speed going up the hill there. And this camera foreshortens the view a little bit. So Paul de Resta now is certainly back in the championship hunt. It's all going to finish where it all started at Hockenheim, of course. There'll be a massive crowd of over 100,000 to watch all that. And what about the man who heads the championship? Looks as if his lead in the series is going to be clipped back here, Timo Scheider. And do you know what's happening here? It's starting to dry out again. Oh, this has got to be massive for Premat. He is on the right tyres. Everybody's short-circuiting that chicane there. Well, the stewards obviously not bothering about that. Otherwise, we'd be hearing about some penalties. Timo Scheider's car certainly hasn't been working that well in the rain. Well, if it finishes like this, his championship lead will be cut back to 3 points. Now, maybe Bernd Schneider can put some pressure on Scheider. There they are in 5th and 6th places, just about a second apart, a bit less than a second apart at the moment. And there is Christian Albers going for a wide old ride. Former Mercedes factory driver, went to Formula One, come back to the DTM in the oldest car in the series. And there is a great shot of the rear of Paul di Resta and that big composite diffuser at the back of the car. Gary Paffett now in battle with Alexandra Pamat, and that will help Mercedes-Benz. Remember, there's a manufacturer's title chase going on as well, and that's also pretty close. So real entertainment here at Le Mans. Here's this battle between Scheider and Schneider, and you see how it's fallen down to 0.9 of a second from 2.4 of a second. So there's a charge going on here from Bernd Schneider. Again, they're using a bit more of the chicane this time. Some nasty rumple strips just on the inside of the curves, a little bit of debris out on the circuit. And there's Pramat, behind Pramat, this battle between the man who still leads the championship in the black and white Audi, Timo Scheider, and Bernd Schneider, who's about 15 years younger, charging up behind him, putting on the pressure. That's how the championship could pan out if they stay like this. And Matthias Ekstrom with 54 points in 3rd place. Jamie Green will certainly not take the title. So it really is all about the two at the top, Scheider and di Resta. Victory, of course, is important, and there, coming together with Scheider and Schneider. That looked a little bit of a silly move. Scheider running wide, and now Schneider tries to go down the inside, and this is getting a little bit muscular. That's the new bit of the circuit. Well, of course, Bernd Schneider can do his teammate, young teammate Paul di Resta a huge favour here. Big news, of course, that Paul di Resta has just tested a GP2 car back in a single-seater, the former Euro F3 champion. And of course, he's always had his sights set on Formula One, but I'm not sure that DTM would want to release him from racing in their series. Certainly Mercedes love having him, but it's probably the decision of Norbert Haugen. Still this battle continues, and look at Gary Paffett. He's trying to get past Alexandra Pamat, and here comes Schneider, tries down the inside, can't make it stick, but now he's on the inside, and now they're side by side, and Scheider goes down the inside. Scheider keeps in front. Well, epic duel here between this duo. These two men with the similar names, here they are completing another lap. And this race was scheduled for 43 laps, but the maximum time these races can run is 70 minutes, and we're getting close to that. You see the clock just sliding away there, 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining of this race. They won't go the full distance. And still this Scheider-Schneider battle goes on, off the racetrack and then back on it. And under the Dunlop Bridge here, and he tries to move again down the inside. There's the wily old Bernd Schneider, and he's got a bit of a better position there, but no, he has to drop back behind the black Audi. Sniffing the diff of that car from Ingolstadt. Takes a tighter line. Cars very closely matched, drivers well matched too. And of course, if Bernd Schneider can get by Timo Scheider gets more points, or less points I should say, and then I think it might even be level with Paul di Resta going into the last round. Here that incident again, and they definitely had contact that time. A little bit of carbon goes up into the air. There you see it just bouncing. Was that a piece off a wheel? I think maybe a wheel trim. So this is quite a struggle between these two, and it's not just about this battle here for this position, it's about the championship, it's about teamwork. And flames spurting out of the exhaust as Catherine Legg, I think, just about to be lapped there. Ekstrom in the lead, 4.2 seconds ahead of Paul de Resta. That clock continues to tick away down into 5 minutes now. Primat third, Paffett in fourth place. Then this magnificent duel for fifth and sixth, Scheider and Schneider. Then it's Spengler, then it's Christiansen. Now, what can the 44-year-old multi-champion do about this? Here he is trying to take the tight line again, and again Scheider uses that tarmac, which apparently the stewards allow, gets a better run down under the Dunlop Bridge, and again down the inside goes Schneider, and this time has he got his nose in? Yes, he has, but not enough. And Scheider battling for his championship here. Keeps the Audi ahead of the Mercedes-Benz. Epic 2 manufacturers struggle here. People say that they need more manufacturers in the championship. They don't really if you've got struggles going on like this. There's Catherine Legg, and she now is about to be lapped by some more cars. Catherine, who raced in the Champ Car Series last year, and this wonderful battle continues. And let's see what Bernd Schneider has got left, bouncing it over the curves, looking for the best places to brake. And only 3 minutes left here. Matthias Ekstrom still in the lead, of course. 39 laps in the book. Paul de Resta seems to have settled for second place, 4.41 seconds behind. Then it's Primat, then it's Paffett having a good run. And behind Gary Paffett, this huge battle, important battle between Scheider and Schneider. Quite a short lap here on this Bugatti circuit, named after the famous automaker, of course. And again, let's see that again, they go off the circuit completely. It's obviously a quicker line down there. Down the hill again, and can he get that Mercedes down the inside? And can he hang on? If he does, yes, he's done it this time. Finally, the move works at the fourth asking, I think it was. Norbert Haug allows himself a wry smile. Stony faced there in the Audi camp. So we just wonder if Scheider can come back at him. And maybe he can. Still a lot of water in the air. And we can look down on this move. This is what he'd been trying to do, and there was the answer. Scheider just to understeered out. Too much push on the car. And yep, that says it all. We've done it. And this is certainly going to help the championship for aspirations of Mercedes-Benz and Paul de Resta. Coming towards the end of this motor race now. Just a minute remaining. Depends a little bit where the leader crosses the start and finish line. Whether this will be the last lap or not. Ekstrom, de Resta, Primat, Paffett. There's that big battle for fifth and sixth place crossing the line. And Schneider just pulled away a second already. Rockenfeller in ninth place. And Timo Scheider does not seem to have anything left to have another challenge. It is confirmed that this is the last lap. And Matthias Ekstrom certainly looking good here. Paul de Resta, of course, in second place. That looked very unlikely for a long period of time, but yeah, Dr. Weather has played his part in this duel here at Le Mans. Penultimate round of the DTM. the struggle will now go all the way. One time in this race, we thought it wouldn't. There's the Red Bull car of the Swede Ekstrom. There's the second place man of Paul de Resta, now heading towards the checkered flag. Massive concentration all around from these drivers. And now they're just ticking off the final corners here around the back of the paddock. That's the peel into the pit lane for the Bugatti circuit, round the last corner and heading towards the checkered flag, and it will be an Audi win. Matthias Ekstrom takes it. Paul de Resta, though, takes second place, closes up the championship gap. And then the rest of the field coming through after such a difficult, slippery, slidey race. Primat in third place after leading, then Gary Paffett. And then Schneider does it. Proves that he has still got a lot of racing left in him yet. And then, well, Timo Schneider, he'll be disappointed, of course. And there are the HWA crew coming out. There, the Audi crew from App Sport. They're also celebrating. Well, certainly an excellent race for the DTM. The weather played a part. There's Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich, and he's going to head to congratulate his drivers. Must have very mixed emotions. He's got a race win, but the championship lead has been reduced. And the marshals, who've got pretty damp out here, waving their appreciation to an excellent drive from Matthias Ekstrom, and he now lives in Switzerland. And the longest DTM race of the season, 1 hour 10 minutes 11.103 seconds, the average speed just a tad over 171 kilometers an hour. And there the checkered flag goes down on that big battle there. Catherine Legg just finishing, and a replay there of the finish between the 5th and 6th place battle, which meant so much. Confirmation of the result: Ekstrom, de Resta and Primat on the podium, and a very happy Frenchman enjoyed the race.
At the beginning of the race I was P3, and then I was thinking to keep this place because it was fantastic for me to be in front of my spectators, so definitely I wanted to show how I'm quick with the whole car.
And what about the controversial tyre choice of Paul de Resta?
Who decided to start on rain tyres? And yeah,
it was a mixed decision between me and my team engineers. We had to take a very safe option. It was a hard decision. It was the wrong decision, but in the end it's all worked out. And you can always gain something back when the weather conditions are as tricky as here today. It was planned all the week that it was going to be like this, and clearly we made the right decisions at the right point, apart from the start. And in the end, it's all worked out exactly how we needed it to work.
roller coaster feeling in this race?
Absolutely, it's the strangest race I've ever been involved in. I just wanted it to keep going, and I was fighting so hard, more than I ever have done in a race, and I'm just glad in the end for the team, because they did a great job.
Let's check out the championship positions now. Just 2 points then between Timo Schneider and Paul de Resta, and Ekstrom in third place out of the championship hunt.
The start went quite well, so I was straight in the lead in the first corner. That was something really surprising me, but we had the right decision with the slick tires in the beginning, and afterwards when the weather changed, we had maybe in the end the wrong decision, I don't know, but I felt comfortable at the time where we were leading, and afterwards we struggled just a bit by the rain tires.
And what about the race winner there, getting an excellent trophy? He holds it aloft. He was a happy bunny.
I was very happy with my race because it was a perfect one for me, because the start was good. I had a very good strategy which came from the team, good pit stops, good decisions. The car was easy to drive. I was driving very relaxed and could enjoy driving. So for me, I really enjoyed this day.
Bernd Schneider had some thoughts about all that corner cutting.
After my first stop, Timo was on the outside. He was braking too late, made a shortcut and passed me on that, but he got no punish. He got no punish for that. I was really surprised about that. because the rule says if you're cutting the chicanes, and then you will get punished if you get advantage, and here definitely had the advantage. But the rules are different for Mercedes and Audi. This is quite sure.
A very controversial statement there from Bernd Schneider. Well, let's now hear the thoughts of the Audi boss, Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich.
We will see now the showdown in Hockenheim, and I'm looking forward to that. We will try as usual to give all our guys the best possible material. Timo will for sure have all the support, but at the end it's between him and Paul di Resta to race it.
And of course the boss of Paul di Resta is Mercedes-Benz Norbert Haug.
For me personally, it was one of the most thrilling races, if not the most thrilling race I ever saw. We were really badly handicapped at the beginning with the wrong tire choice. Paul was, after the start, immediately 10th or 11th, but at the end of lap 1 or 2 he was already 4th again. I mean, this guy was unbelievable today. His theoretical best lap time was 1.2 seconds quicker than Timo Scheiders, and Timo is a great guy and a great driver. Just that as a comparison. And he never gave up, and at the end the rain came and we took the right decision for the tires, and all of a sudden he was second again. He deserves that absolutely, and now everything is prepared for a great final in Hockenheim with record crowd.
Thanks for watching the race. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next race, Hockenheim.